Oh, hello, it's Ty Ty today with MCC, and I'm going to be smacking John's ass.
You're going to be what?
I'm going to smack your ass.
No, you're not.
Okay, today I'm going to smack John's car's ass.
Why are you going to be smacking my car's ass?
Well, the car is focused in Too Fast, Too Furious. Suki drives it, and she drives it over a bridge, and she yells, "Woo, smack that ass." And I think that's the most important part of today's episode.
Let's roll with it.
Okay, well, maybe the car should be the most important part?
The car should be the most important.
Okay, all right, so I'm not going to smack anyone's ass, and I'm going to be focused on today's car, the Honda S2000, an AP1 platform that John owns, and I'm very excited to go for a drive. Let's do it.
Possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really are a tribute to like Honda's racing past.
Yep.
And so, I think this was like the swan song for like the founder of Honda as he was leaving the company.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, going back to being built light, there's like no sound deadening in this car. So you hear every little shake and rattle in this car. You hear the downshifting like resonance this car has. It has some weird thing. It's not just this car. I've driven other S2000s and they all do the same thing. And every time someone gets in it, they go, "Is there something wrong with the car?" Like as you're like using engine braking going down a hill, you'll hear just some really weird shit happening.
And that's normal?
And that's normal, yeah.
Did they yeah, that is.
That's normal. For this car.
That's crazy. I mean, it's not like annoying, but
no,
if
but
you
it's
never
not
drove an S2000 then
right.
And then you bought one, you're
the first
thinking,
one I
oh
got
my God.
in to test drive it, I was just like, "What is that noise?" He's like, the guy who I first test drove from. He's like, "I drove this back brand new from Salt Lake," and he goes, "It made this noise on the downhills on the way back, straight from the dealership."
Man.
And he goes, "I had, I was worried," and they're like, "Nope, that's just the car."
That would have freaked me out. So, how many miles were on it when you bought it? Did you buy it new? You didn't buy it new.
No. I bought. This was. This is one of those things, one of those jinxes that someone gives you by telling you about bring a trailer. Like I'm a car lover through and through.
Yeah.
And I'm not like every car lover is probably different. Like some of people are like total tech nerds. Some people are all about acceleration and horsepower.
Right.
Some people are about aesthetics, and I'm just an aesthetics guy. Like I appreciate what cars look like.
Mm-hmm.
I really revere industrial designers, people that design cars for a living.
Yep.
And this is one of those cars that I think is understated, but just has some really fantastic lines to it. I wasn't turned on to it by, especially not by Fast and the Furious.
That's the first time I'd ever seen one. Was when I saw that movie, whenever that came out.
Yeah.
I was, I don't know, probably 12 or 13
when the first one came out,
when
with the pink one.
The second one had, the first one had the black one, and then the second one had the pink one, but it was actually the same car. They just repainted it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then they had, 15
I'm
extras
sure.
that
Yeah.
they destroyed.
One was the hero
going
car,
over.
right? They call
Yeah,
it.
the hero car. But that was the first time those two movies was the first time I'd seen one. And our neighbor, my mom's neighbor, actually has one and has for years. And I've always, been, that's a cool car. And it wasn't really until I started looking into it as the prices started to climb, and I was like, oh, this thing's serious. This is a pretty unique
little package.
car.
Yeah. Grand plans of having like a really cool coastal vacation car for my wife and I, basically. I mean, that's how I sold it to her.
Yeah, that's how you got her on board with
that's how I
having
got her on board.
A car squeezed into your...
Well, again, like I told you, we haven't talked about it yet, really, but this car was like one of those things where I kind of started reading about people. How can you enjoy an investment? I don't have a lot of money, but like the little money that I have squirreled away, like I don't want it just sitting in a CD or something like that, gaining a little bit of interest. That doesn't interest me at all.
Right.
I want to have something that I can have fun with. And when I started hearing about people actually doing that, and I was like, what else makes sense for me? Like I've always wanted a little sports car because I've always been like a off-road four-wheel drive guy. Mm-hmm. But I played Gran Turismo from like the first Gran Turismo all the way till they kind of got boring with all the jazzy music and stuff. And then I turned into a Forza guy.
Yep.
And so, like I've been building digital cars forever. Yep. Like tuning them, aesthetically making them pleasing to me.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can get on board with that. And I remember the S2000 being there and taking tons and tons of photo, because the one thing Gran Turismo still has is just like this amazing photo mode that I love playing around with, like just setting cars in cool environments, and like turning the wheel just perfectly, and then setting the depth of field so it looks, it's whatever. I mean, I can geek out on that for hours, and people are just like, what are you doing? Why are you just sitting there moving a car around? You're turning it around and taking digital pictures that no one's ever going to see. I don't even think you can get them off the PlayStation, So.
Not in those ones. Now, the Forza community.
You can on the Forza community.
You can put them everywhere.
Yeah, they got a great Instagram feed. I don't know if you've ever followed them. But
no, I haven't, but I've seen it. Yeah. And this is the AP1 platform. This is the first year. This is a 99.
This is a 2000.
2000. Still the AP1 platform.
Yeah, I think in 2004 or 5 is when they changed to the.
Yeah, there's
AP2.
only a couple years of the AP2. There's less AP2 than there is AP1, isn't there?
I mean, maybe in volume, I don't know, but I was pretty sure that they changed. America, is all about torque.
Yep.
So, everyone can appreciate the fact that this car can rev to 9,000 RPM, but it still is super gutless, like to about 5,500 RPM. It might as well be a Honda Civic. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's kind of well known across the people who enjoy these cars.
Yep.
So you're encouraged to drive this thing hard.
Yep.
Now I don't bring it up to 9,000 RPM very often. I mean, it's also like the thing's, flame red.
You're just asking.
And you're just asking because it gets incredibly loud when it gets into that RPM range.
Yeah.
But you'll feel it like right around the time we're about to hit 6,000 RPM. It's like a supercharger or a turbo kicking on. I mean, the car just like all of a sudden kind of like pushes you back in your seat.
Yep.
And it's not going to compare it to a Tesla or some C5, C6, C7 Corvette type thing. But because you're sitting so low to the ground, you feel like you're hauling ass.
Yeah.
You may only be doing 68 to 75 miles an hour, but it feels like you're doing 120 in this thing.
That's what I've read is people just love the driving experience of these more than anything else. And you're not going to, like you said, beat, a C5, C6 Corvette.
You're not beating much of anything.
Right.
I mean, I've been beat by, I could be beat by that Chevy Colorado probably if he decided to punch it.
Yeah.
But once we get up into the RPM range, then this thing's going to have some legs, on it. So
it's funny because I had a friend with a Civic Si, which is not the same thing, but it's the same.
It is. No, this is what got me into Hondas. Is I bought a 1999 Civic Si, brand new, off the lot.
Really?
Yeah. And the car is literally still one of the favorite cars I've ever owned in my life. And that's accounting for this car, which is probably the second or third best car I've ever owned in my life. Ask me my first.
What's your first?
Honda Element.
No, it's not.
It is.
Why?
It's the most versatile, best, mild off-roading vehicle I've ever had in my life. And I have like I have a Jeep Rubicon.
Yeah.
It's
you got
not
the
gonna.
4,
It's
you
not
got the
gonna.
4xe.
I have the electric version of the Jeep Rubicon, which is a really cool, unique vehicle.
Yeah.
But there's something magical about, and my Honda Element is a manual shift as well. It is the best car on a snowy road that you'll ever drive. I don't know how their all-wheel drive system works. I don't know what magic they
There's
put in.
one right there. We're just talking about it. Isn't that one over there?
Yeah,
right
that's
there?
a green one right there.
Is that a 2-door? Are they all like that?
Yeah. So my daughter drives ours that we bought in 2004, brand new.
Yep.
Because she was born, and now she drives that car. And then my son's got a Honda Element. I know we're in a Honda,
But
like S2000, but I'm telling you, just
no, there's something to be said for it because I see them on Bring a Trailer all the time, and Cars and Bids.
yeah. I mean, if you put one of those Ursa Minor tops on one,
Yeah.
you can have one with 180,000 miles and ask, $17,000 for it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for it. Again, they're easy to maintain. They're fantastic. They're just fantastic cars.
That's funny that's your favorite though of everything you've.
Yeah, I will. My goal is someday to get another Honda Element because my daughter's going to take our original one. My son's got his own, but I want one with the Ursa Minor pop top on it.
Yep.
And then, just use that as like you're driving across country camping rig.
It's a pretty reliable rig to do
Oh
that
my gosh,
with.
yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, my friend's SI was like that. It seemed pretty mild when we would drive around town, and then he kind of opened it up, and I couldn't believe an engine can turn like that,
This does the
over
same
that
exact
quickly.
thing.
It's pretty interesting the way they designed that.
Yeah.
But
So that car was fantastic. That Civic Si
Yeah.
that we had.
But these are AP1s. I think are the more desirable from a collection standpoint, or just like from a.
Yeah, I think
what
it's
gets
all
the big
kind of
money,
like
but-
we're talking like nuances of genre now. So
Yeah.
like, again, there's people who want just that little extra torque in a car like this, and they'll go for an AP2. And the suspension setup, I think, is different. And don't ask me about why or what. This is all nuanced stuff that I've talked to other people that have S2000.
That's what I've read. It's more refined.
It's a little more refined. This thing, from what I'm, told and I've felt, like if you're getting into it around a corner, you have to be really careful. It's kind of like having a rear engine 911.
Yeah.
Like the thing can snap on you real quick.
That's how the Vipers are too.
Oh, gee. Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
You got a Viper story?
No.
Oh.
Just, those cars are like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but those.
I
but
could
those,
I should have
you can't
used
corner
them for the
those.
reference, but I don't.
Yeah,
You can't. Yeah, those cars are fantastic too.
they are, but they're great in a straight line. I've heard they're
Are those
awful on corners.
Millennial classic cars.
I've got a hookup with one, and I'm hoping to do one. That's a Millennial Classic. I'll take it.
Well, I got a poster in my garage of a 97 Viper GTS Coupe, and that's another one of those cars that like I want so bad. Blue, white stripes.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a classic. Yeah, the red is a classic.
But the thing is they dipped. Like I missed it. They dipped. You could find one of those for like $67,000 5 or 6 years ago.
not anymore.
You can't touch them for less than $100,000 now.
No. But you missed one, but you hit on this.
Yeah, I was
So
lucky.
you got one win.
I was lucky enough to hit on this.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier putting your money in a CD. This thing is appreciated more than your money in a CD would have.
I think it has. I think it
Because the
has.
interest rates were what, like 0.8% probably?
They
when you
were
bought
when
this?
when I bought this, those
Yeah.
interest rates were junk. Yeah.
And this is definitely appreciated in value. Since,
Yeah,
I mean, the pandemic drove everything up artificially, but
Right. Yeah, I'd say, I mean, anybody can look it up. Just look up, like red, like whatever, 2000, S2000 on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
And this will show up.
yeah.
It was a really fun experience. I mean, talk about thrilling, talk about heart rate, talk about armpits sweating out. Like bidding on a car on Bring a Trailer is like a way to get an adrenaline rush.
I understand that because I did that on Cars and Bids with that Subaru I was trying to buy.
Yeah.
And I was sweating for the last 10 minutes. And when I lost it, it was the lowest low I felt in a while.
Well, I get
the dopamine hit.
I get incredibly competitive, and it's a scary place to be because I like art a lot. Again,
Yeah.
I'm an aesthetically driven guy, so like I'll go to these like kind of, blue collar or like approachable art auctions, and I'll go and like bid on art.
Yep.
And once I get started, like there's no stopping. Like I can't lose. Like I have to be the last guy that's bidding on the art, and then end up with it when I walk away from it. So
Understandable.
this was a scary place. I did set a ceiling, like you talked about with the Subaru.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't go above it. And I literally went right to it at the last second and got this car. So I think I paid like $23,900 or something like this for this car when I got it. Again, I'd have to look back and look at what I paid for it, but
Well, what's crazy is you'd at least get that now, and
I think I could probably get 5 more right now, like on a good day, out of this thing, and it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't buy this much fun for $35,000 right now.
No.
And have it keep its value.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty hard. That's a value. The budget value there is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What's crazy is people in like 2010 were buying these for like 15 grand. Like I remember seeing several of these for sale in like 2012, 2013, like 2014, 15, 18 grand. And you could probably even get one cheaper than that if you really looked hard enough. Not anymore.
No.
You're never going to see that again on these.
You can find some beat up gals, for 20 grand, 22 grand right now. But you with one with this low of miles, you're not going to touch it for.
That is the best sound. That's worth 50 grand.
I mean, most people would end up paying that much money for that kind of just fun.
Yeah.
It's such a raucous noise.
So good.
And you only get that out of this car, or a motorcycle.
Yep. I'd rather listen to that like on repeat while I'm working than music.
That's your flow. That's your like focus like station would just be cars like revving out.
Yeah. Well, there's that scene in Gone in 60 Seconds where they just play the sound of the
and then they're like
guessing them.
Guessing what car that is.
Nicolas Cage looks so cool during that.
Oh my gosh.
Have you put this on a track at all ever, or done anything?
Nope. Again, the pandemic hit, and then I own a small business, so I've focused a lot on trying to get my business, like making sure it's stable, and we still haven't even taken that first drive to the coast. That this car was whole idea was for.
Yeah.
So that has to happen. If I ever decide that we're changing this car out at some point, then I got to take that drive to the coast, or else my wife's never gonna.
Why did we ever? That's funny. Yeah, so you're co-owner of Trademark Creative, right?
Correct.
Is that what it is? Because you guys call it Trademark Creative, and then I see Trademark
It's
Design
trademark
and Fabrication.
It's Trademark Design and Fabrication.
Okay.
Our domain is Trademark Creative.
Okay. And you guys did all the branding for Millennial Classic Cars.
We did,
Which I'm very grateful for.
Well, again, we were lucky enough to like run across each other with our dogs in the dog park.
Yep.
And then talk about our common interest for love for cars.
Yeah.
And then you telling me that you're starting a YouTube channel and decided you need an identity and brand for that was just perfect. I mean, just perfect for both of us.
It was like before that I had been that late summer, early fall, I was kind of thinking about doing this and trying to come up with like what it would be, and then I kind of fleshed it out and had it like, okay, this is what I'll do, but I hadn't bought anything, I hadn't invested in it at all, really past just getting the idea and the list of cars out of, hey, this would be, or talking to people about it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just, work got busy, and I just it took a back seat. And then I met you at the park that day, and I took that as like, okay, this is the sign I have to do this. And
well, that's awesome.
And then it just kind of, I mean, after that, I just didn't let off the gas. I've been going nonstop with this thing for the planning it took to get even just to this episode I couldn't believe it, just to film a YouTube episode. But I wanted to do it right.
You could have done it not right.
I could have just done it with a phone or one GoPro but I wanted to invest in the editing and everything and do it the right way. And I'm still learning. Like the footage, just gets better and better, I can tell, and it's still not, you know, professional quality, but I think that's fine.
It'll be awesome, right, to see how you evolve
Yeah.
as you go through this process, because you know you got a camera here and you
Yep.
got your GoPro here, but again, I can see a day when you know you're gonna have one set at the wheel, set at the exhaust, set
Yeah.
you know like on the hood, whatever. They'll be those are all that B-roll stuff, you know what I mean? That'll
Yep.
be in the background.
I know. It was hard to pick, like, you know, because when I first had the cart all picked out on B&H Photo, I had, you know, 5-6 cameras in there and
Yeah.
all kinds of accessories. And then I looked at the cart price and I was like, okay, I got to do this
I know,
on
yeah.
somewhat of a budget because it's just all my
Well, you're the numbers
savings.
guy, so
Yeah, exactly.
you know exactly where that threshold
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Man, it feels like you're going so fast. That sounds so good. Yeah, I feel the speed feels way more, and then I look over and you're doing 35.
Yeah. But I mean, again, you know, like this car, this is the magic of this little thing.
Yeah.
You know? You're so low to the ground. It's like riding a go-kart.
Yeah, it is.
But I'll also let you know, I'm a low risk guy, so I'm
Yes.
not gonna
Nope.
not gonna put us in jeopardy.
I would like to keep filming more episodes.
Good. I got lots of other adventures I want to go
There
on.
are a few people I'm going to be interviewing that I know
That they'll push it.
will push it, and I've already planned my pre-drive speech of we don't need to die today.
Yeah.